Hi, I'm Nancy Gallagher, and I'm going to talk about the PBL unit that I developed called Tiny Houses for Those Without. This unit is about homelessness. Homelessness is an issue that plagues cities all over the world, including in the United States. Although it's difficult to accurately count the number of people who are homeless, estimates right now are that about 600,000 or more Americans are living either in shelters or on the streets. Now there are a lot of different approaches to solving this problem, but there's really no consensus on the best way to deal with it. So one approach that I think is pretty innovative that some cities across the US are taking is to try to develop tiny house communities for low-income and no-income residents. So it's through this lens that 7th grade math students will engage in research about the needs of people who are homeless and consider how they might contribute to a cost-effective solution for some of those living without. They will produce a scaled model of a tiny house and the community in which the houses will be situated. They'll present their models along with a pitch to sell their ideas to an audience of government officials, homeless advocates, and other interested community members. So this unit was designed for 7th grade math students. It's primarily a geometry unit. It addresses area, surface area, volume, and ratios. Some of the main standards that it hits. Students will solve problems involving scale drawings of geometric figures, including computing actual lengths and areas from a scale drawing and reproducing a scale drawing at a different scale. They will solve real-world and mathematical problems involving area, volume, and surface area of 2- and 3-dimensional objects composed of triangles, quadrilaterals, polygons, cubes, and right prisms. And they will compute unit rates associated with ratios of fractions, including ratios of lengths, areas, and other quantities measured in like or different units. So here is the driving question of this unit. How can students use their math skills to address the issue of homelessness in the United States? In this unit, students will design a tiny house that will meet the needs of a homeless individual. They will stay within budget and space parameters. They will design a community or neighborhood in which this house will be situated. They will use Google SketchUp or building materials of their choice to produce a scaled model. They will produce a 2-dimensional representation of the community or neighborhood surrounding the house. And then they will pitch their project idea to government officials and community members. Homelessness is a local, national, and international problem that's crying out for a solution. This approach that I'm proposing to alleviating the problem is innovative, cost-effective, and incredibly flexible. During the research phase of this project, students will investigate the causes and effects of homelessness on individuals and communities, as well as the currently available strategies aimed at curbing this problem. So even though those are not the primary goals of this unit to discuss issues of social justice, it's nice to be able to bring that kind of discussion into a math class. So this is what the entire unit would look like in terms of time frame. On day 1, we would start out actually just talking a little bit about what do students know about homelessness. I would start by using a photo prompt from Teaching Tolerance from their website and have students discuss in small groups what they know about homelessness. Then I would have a representative from Habitat for Humanity come in to speak to the students about homelessness and low-income housing development and building considerations. Students will do research in the library online. They will need to look into how to use space efficiently, what kinds of building materials are cost effective, and they'll need to do a little bit of research about large community design. Students will continue to work in groups on doing research and working on their building design. And then I would invite an architect to come in to talk to students about design considerations and making scale models. Students will then be able to work on a blueprint of their house and hopefully a map for their community. We would spend a day learning how to use Google SketchUp, which will allow students to virtually build a 3D model of their home. And then we will spend a day talking about budgetary considerations. This is where we would bring in our unit rate and ratio conversation, and would also do some group conferences to check in about how everyone's doing on their work. Students will continue to build their models and then work on their presentations for the final culminating project, which, as I mentioned, was a pitch for their particular design of the house and community build ideas. And they would present this to their classmates, parents, teachers, interested government officials, and representatives for charitable organizations interested in battling homelessness. There are a number of technology elements built into this unit. Students will do a fair amount of online research. They'll get to watch a clip of HGTV's Tiny House Builders, which will be really fun. They will learn how to use Google SketchUp. We will use Google Classroom throughout the project when we're doing collaborative work, and it will be a way for the teacher to monitor individual contributions of each student. And then they will have full creative license when it comes to how they will present their project. They will be able to use a number of different technology options for that. There are obviously a number of different instructional techniques that will be employed during this project. We will do some direct instruction, especially when we have speakers come in. The Habitat for Humanity representative and the architect will engage in whole class instruction when students are learning how to do Google SketchUp and when we discuss unit rates and budgetary issues. There will be lots of cooperative learning going on when students work in their groups during doing research and in designing and developing their presentation. There will be some independent learning going on and plenty of problem solving and inquiry. In fact, the focus of this project really is on problem solving. The question, how can you build a usable space within strict parameters and budgetary constraints that will appeal to low or no income residents, government officials, charitable organizations and the wider community is one that will require students to work through a lot of issues. Students will discover through research and trial and error how to design and build a structure that will satisfy all of the required elements of the task. So my goals for students during this unit are the problem solving and inquiry, and also hopefully students will develop empathy and awareness of some of the issues plaguing our community, especially people who are living without. So that was a pretty detailed description of the PBL unit that I developed for a 7th grade math class, covering a number of geometry standards and including and incorporating issues of social justice into the project.